buddy. How are we doing?
What's going on?
Not too much. Nice intimate setting.
I know.
You've got set up over here.
Yep. It's just.
Where's our boy? Where's our third amigo?
I think he's been bouncing around the country a little bit, man.
He's traveling.
Yeah.
He's traveling.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed he hasn't been respecting the CDO PTO policy.
Right.
Like,
You got to put that in early.
You have to put it in early.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, or the best part is, there is no PTO.
That's
So
right.
I don't really know how he's got
How's he
away with
get
it
out?
again.
Right, yeah.
He's in Arizona golfing, I think.
Man.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Don't
We'll
worry. All good on our end. So, wins, fails?
Man, this weekend we watched the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys watch as a family?
Not as a family.
Okay.
My girls couldn't really get into it. It took so long, like from the fanfare of it starting to like the actual race.
The pageantry
itself.
is next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started streaming at like 11 a.m.
That's right.
The race was at 7
It was like
p.m.
7. Yeah.
My daughter, one of my daughters, her favorite movie is Secretariat,
Okay.
and she loves horses.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make sure
Yeah.
she got to see the Derby. So we started a little early, probably like at like an hour before the race, and they were watching all the big hats and all the horses going. So, but it was cool, man. It was an awesome race.
Did you have the girls pick like a horse?
Yeah, they were kind of just talking about it, and they're like, I like this one, I like this
Yeah.
person. So they all had their kind of picks.
Did any of the girls pick the winner?
No.
I mean,
I
it
don't
was
know if
an
anybody saw that
unbelievable
guy
race.
come
No,
up.
it
I mean,
was
he
an
was in last
unbelievable
place. Yeah, it was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice,
that was pretty epic actually.
That's
for
an
our first,
expensive habit and or hobby to get the girls into.
It's true. Well, watching from home.
We're
that's
good.
fair.
That's all.
No, my daughter did say, she's like, when I'm older, I'm going to have all those horses. So I'm like, all right, kid.
That's
you
all
know?
right. Nice.
I love that for you.
Yeah. For you. Specifically
Yeah,
for you,
let's do
not
that.
for us.
Let's
yeah.
get there.
100%. Got to fail, dude.
What happened?
So I think I've said this before. So usually after my wife has given birth to a kid in general, she always, just the way things have worked out, she's always looked at like the Cleveland Half Marathon.
Yeah,
which
springtime
is usually,
race.
Yeah, exactly, right. It's usually in May of every year. And just the way the kids have worked out, we've basically every other year since my eldest was born, so about 5 years ago, have done the race, right? And the very first time she did it, she asked me about it, and I just as like a support mechanism was like, sure, I'd love to race with you. And as you know, I don't like doing things by half measures. So the more like we started like training for it, I started getting into it and really then wanted to like beat her. And the second time we did it, I had like a specific time in mind, and I got really into it. But I'm like a prize fighter, right? I need like a 6-week training camp,
right,
to really get into it.
Yeah, I mean, training for a half marathon, it's no joke.
It's no joke, right? Yeah. I mean, you have to commit to it, and usually my wife will download like a from couch to race day type running schedule.
ChatGPT now you can use
with ChatGPT, you can do whatever you want, 100%. Which I think she did actually. Anyway, so she usually does this, and we'd agreed to do it again this year. Okay. And we went on our spring break trip, and just before we went away for spring break, she like really pulled something in her back. It was super innocuous. Sorry. She was feeding the twins, turned and jerked her back, and literally couldn't move. Numbness in her leg, whatever. And on the one hand, I'm like, this is not great. Like, I don't like to see my wife in pain.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I'm like, well, we don't have to do this race.
Getting out of it.
And so she was like seeing like, chiropractors and whatever, just to get herself like back on her feet. And I don't know, maybe like a month or so ago, she finally was like, you know what? I don't think I'm meant to like do the race. Maybe we'll look at like another race like later in the year.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I haven't been running out of wink solidarity for you, so I'm totally fine not doing that. Okay. And the weather's been terrible, whatever.
Yeah, it's been rough.
So fast forward to this weekend just gone. Okay. And she goes, we're sitting there, Matt, everything's fine. Sometimes a conversation will happen that will just disrupt like the peace in the house.
Yeah.
She'll be like, she basically went, my back's been feeling a lot better. I think I want to do the half. And it was like record scratch. I was like, let me put down the bag of chips for a second and give me a sec. I was like, what? Like, I haven't been training. We have made it all about me. I haven't been training, like all this
Which
stuff.
at this point, it's basically a week from Sunday.
It's basically, it is a week from Sunday. Depending on when this gets released, like it'll be the following week, right? And so she goes, well, why don't we do this? why don't we today, the weather was nice. She's like, why don't we both individually go for a run and just see what like our baseline fitness is. Okay. And she's like, if I go for a run, you know, I do a couple of miles, my back hurts, fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't you do the same? I was like, okay, I can get behind that. And she's like, I'll go first. Fine. Dude, she comes back. I was like, where have you been? It has been, I don't know how long. Like, I was like, where have you been? She's like, I did 9 miles. 9 miles?
Dude.
I literally was like, you did 9 miles? I was like, what was your pace? She was like, I don't know, like 9 something. 9 something? So I'm there. I'm like, this just dropped 2 kids. Like
dude,
less than 6 months.
Your first run is a 9 mile long run? That's impressive, Irene.
Couldn't believe it. But then what happens? The competitive side comes out. And you're like, you know what? Fine. Hold these babies. Yeah. I'm going to go for
my run.
Dude, mile 1, 7 minutes 30 something.
Oh my gosh.
Blitz it. Mile 2, 8 something. I'm slowing down, but we're still running things.
Yeah.
Mile 3, completely seize up. Something goes in my hamstring, and I am like I don't know if it was cramp or I pulled it. Something in my right hamstring just went. I couldn't move.
You couldn't move.
So I was gone for like an hour. So I come back. She's like, "Oh, that was a good time." Like just genuinely being supportive.
Right.
And I was like,
little did
well,
you know.
I ran for like 2.5 miles, and then I hobbled for another 1.5 miles. So I don't know that I'll be able to make the race. So anyway, long story short, I think she's going to run.
She's going for a PR, I think. I mean,
and
she can just get up and do that.
At this point, I think I'm just watching the kids, and I think I'll probably take the kids down, like to support her.
That's great.
And possibly support you too.
Dude, I just pulled a trigger yesterday, so I'm in, man. Let's do it. Come on, Naveed. You can do it. Let's get in there.
I will this weekend try one more run just to see like if like the hamstring is healed up.
Yeah.
But it was an ego run. Like there was
that's the problem.
From 2 years ago, having like not really run. Like maybe the sporadic run here and there. There was absolutely no need to gun it like for the first mile. I felt unstoppable. I felt like Forrest Gump.
That first, you feel so amazing. Like, wait a second.
Anyway, so
no, it'll be fun. It's the first race I've ever done.
Yeah.
I've done like a little 5K years ago.
Yeah,
but this is the first half marathon. So we'll see, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone's in the Cleveland area.
Yeah, seriously.
And you want to come down and support my boy Matt?
Run.
Maybe me. We'll see. But
yeah.
It should be a fun day out. It's always a good one. Well, look, the genesis for today's episode is a couple of things. One, we've done a couple of listener mailbag questions, and there was a ton of newborn questions in there just because you and I are going through the newborn phase right now. And I didn't really address them in the listener mailbag questions. And with our boy Andrew out today, I figured now's probably a good time for us to go through a bunch of these newborn questions and give some honest opinions in real time as we go through it. So, question 1, Matt, not you, but another Matt.
From Matt. Okay, from Matt to Matt.
From Matt to Matt. So Matt in Washington. Not clear if it's DC or Washington State.
Okay.
But my newborn wakes up every 2 to 3 hours at night. Is this normal? Are we doing something wrong? I mean, it seems like a pretty basic question to me, but
that's pretty much the feeding schedule, right? So I think when they're little, that's totally normal. I mean,
so I would say longest sleeps, and I've actually cheated. I looked at this question ahead of time and looked up when longest sleep stretches like actually occur. 6 to 10 weeks. Okay. So in everything pre 6 weeks, and it depends on like if your baby's underweight, overweight, I say overweight, like at weight rather. Yeah. But newborns typically eat every 2 to 3 hours, including overnight. That's just biological and needs to happen. It's also like the circadian rhythm, right? Like I think that doesn't change. Yeah,
there's often they get messed up with the days and nights. When they're really newborns.
Yeah.
Those first few weeks can be rough with that.
The only caveat I'd add to that is the whole like waking up every 2 to 3 hours is there is a difference between waking up when it's feeding and waking up like if your baby's a colic baby.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're just waking up and they've already been fed like all the time, that's when it gets hard.
I think we've both had colic babies, right?
Yeah. We've had kids that had stretches. I will say though, and this happens a lot during your kid, especially if it's your first, but they do go through these sleep regressions. It seems like every 4 to 6 weeks, they'll take like a major step back, feels like, and they'll be kind of stuck in that. And you're like, oh no, what happened? We were making progress.
Yeah.
And now everything reverted.
Really
but
good point.
if it usually takes like a week to 2 weeks for them to kind of snap out of that.
Yeah.
And then they kind of go back to progressing farther. But if you're a new parent, you don't know that. It's demoralizing.
You know what's the next one? So sleep regression comes up all the time. When like a bad night happens, we'll be like, oh, it's a sleep regression.
Yeah. Right,
but you know the next funny one is teething. When
teething.
Kids finally start getting teeth, every time we have a rough night or used to have a rough night, we'd be like, they must be teething. They must be teething. Yeah, they must be teething. They must be teething. Then we check for teeth in the morning. No teeth.
Yeah. Well, we did that sleep class with our first, and they're like, teething doesn't interrupt sleep. So like, everyone says, oh, they're teething, but I mean, I'm sure different kids are different. But.
Nice. All right, next question, dude. This question is from Dubai.
Let's go.
We are
UAE.
international baby. His name is Rayhan from Dubai. The question: my baby makes weird noises and sometimes pauses breathing while sleeping. Is that normal?
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I mean, newborns make crazy sounds when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Like they make sounds that are like startling. You wake up and you're like, what was that?
Forget the sounds for a second. For our first kid, was like inches away from my daughter's face most nights, checking for her breathing.
Right.
I'd put like my finger underneath her nose in the hopes of feeling like some breath. And every now and then I'd kind of poke her just to make sure she was moving. It's a fine line between waking and like just checking. But I'd freak out over that. Last couple of times it doesn't. You
realize it is pretty normal. I mean, if you talk to your pediatrician, they'll tell you that's normal. And then with the breathing thing too, they're still like developing. I feel like those muscles and lungs, and they usually are breathing, but it can. But sound like they're not.
Biologically, newborns do have something called periodic breathing. So those short pauses, noisy grunts, squeaks, whatever, those are pretty normal. And the rule of thumb is if a pause in breathing or whatever lasts more than 20 seconds, that's when to worry.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously with my medical background, that's...
hey, that lines up, man.
That's a given.
Because when we were with our last, we were in the NICU for some of that stuff, and that's pretty much what they told us. Yeah. Yeah, 20 to 30 seconds. If anything longer than that.
They must have read my medical report there. Released circa 2000
that's it.
2020.
I saw your picture on the report. Like, wow.
Wow, yeah. Brown guy checks out. All right. This next question comes from T2 winner.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you a guy or a girl, but at T2 winner.
T2 winner.
Okay. Why does my baby seem way hungrier at night than during the day? I don't know if that's true. I just think you're just more tired and irritable at night.
Well, there's the whole cluster feeding thing.
Oh, that's true.
And that does happen sometimes in the evening, I feel like. Maybe that can happen at any time. Our wives would be better to answer some of these questions, but that one.
Look at us giving our opinions on breastfeeding.
Right.
I think you're right, though. I think cluster feeding is I feel like it's more of a nighttime thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's typically when it happens. But
do you know why cluster feeding happens?
I don't.
It's to increase milk supply and support growth spurts in the baby.
There you go.
And this phase usually improves within a few weeks.
So there you go. It's just another thing that will pass. Yeah.
It is something that is actually the overarching theme. I feel like in all of these questions, it's like it's just a phase.
You're hyper fixated on it because, especially again, if it's your first, or newborns are just so little and like fragile feeling.
Yeah.
So you get hyper fixated on it, and you worry about it.
I think so. I don't think any piece of advice will stop a first-time parent from being hypervigilant or hyperfixated on something, or super anal about something. It's only the hindsight of having more kids that like allows you to
you have to go through it.
You have to go through it one time. Like no parent or anyone's opinions is actually going to make you feel better, is what I found.
It's true. Because people offer advice or they tell you what's going on, but you don't, half the time you just...
Especially like much older people, or they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we used to put a blanket and a pillow in for our 1 month old," and you're like, "Don't think we should be doing that."
Right.
Thanks for the advice, Grandpa.
You just kind of always think, "Well, that's not for my kid." You know what I mean? Because again, it's all new to the parents and new parents especially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. All right, next one, Philip in Sacramento. My baby only sleeps when we're holding them. are we creating bad habits? It's a tough one.
That is a hard one because you want the kid to sleep, but at some point you gotta break that off, you know, because otherwise it's unsustainable. Now again, I don't know how old their baby is, so I think anything before like 5 months, 6 months, you can't really do like sleep training or anything like that. It's too early at that point. They have real needs. Like you have to meet them. But if it's over that, then yeah, you could get into some bad habit stuff.
I don't disagree. I think I didn't research this one enough. You'll have to forgive me, but I think with contact naps, and I think I read this when we had our twins, it's actually better to switch up the type of naps you do throughout the day. Because if you try and do every single nap like in the bassinet, and something happens with like a regression, you are actually teaching a lot more of like the kid to have some form of rigidity. And again, it's still early, like pre 6 weeks or whatever. But if you're able to do things like contact naps, car naps, naps on the go, it actually statistically, what I've heard is leads to much more flexible sleepers as time goes on. But again, don't quote me on like the time window, because there is, like you said, like there's going to be a perfect window of when it either helps or doesn't help. But there is a point at which having more flexible sleepers makes a big difference. And we've seen it with our kids, because my eldest in general has to have a very specific way of sleeping and previously napping. The room had to be a certain, I don't know, temperature. The lights had to be a certain way. The stuffed animals had to be in a certain position. Everything was like super meticulous.
Like her dad, a little bit.
Sounds like her dad, but yeah. but super.
Who touched the thermostat?
We're like both fighting over it, over a couple of degrees. But no, we were, like I said, super rigid, but with our eldest, and with like all the other kids, they've kind of just been a lot more flexible, and we've been a lot more flexible as well. And that's somewhat rubbed off like on my eldest. I would just say for this question in particular, it feels like the newborn phase is survival mode. So whether it's a contact nap or whether it's like, you know, a nap where you're holding them and you go to sleep, like there's studies out about like safe sleeping and co-sleeping and all that stuff. And I'm not going to give my opinion on like all of that, because I'm not qualified to give co-sleeping advice. But yeah, survival. I would say just survive.
Yeah, get through.
Not really a big deal. All right, next question. This one is from someone called @Locks2C. Don't know if that's a business.
Locks to see, huh? Interesting. All right.
Didn't click into their profile.
No.
Fine.
Good call.
Question. I keep hearing about wake windows. Do I actually need to follow them?
So wake windows?
Wake windows.
Oh, okay. Like this is when your kid should be awake. So wake up a sleeping baby, basically.
Yeah. Or like keep them up for a specific time.
We do that.
Yeah, we do that too.
Yeah, we do that.
I think I've wrote this down. When you go too long, you end up with like overtired babies, and they become like way harder to settle. Because sometimes we'll like look at the time and be like, oh, you know, it's been 2 hours, but if we stretch them out to like 2.5, we can skip this nap, whatever. You try and get like too cute with like the schedule. I feel like in like those early like periods when they can't really like figure out like how long they've been awake and you're managing all of that stuff, don't try and stretch it. That's my big advice. Like, don't try and stretch the window. Now, what I will say though is for twins, everything we have done is to keep them on the same schedule.
Okay.
So if one wakes up and the other is sleeping, wake up the other one.
If
one is feeding and the other one's like not, you know, is asleep or, you know, not wanting to take, feed them as well. We've been doing everything on the same schedule, and touch wood, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And we have them sleeping through the night now. So
that's great, man.
That's a complete game changer.
Yeah.
Like it's just been, it's been good. So yeah, don't go too long. Overtired babies don't, well, they're a lot harder.
I think it helps too, if they are figuring out the day and night thing. It helps if they don't sleep for like their long stretch. If that's in the middle of the day, they're not going to give it to you at night. You know what I mean? Because they only usually do one a day.
Do you and your wife, have you ever looked into, I feel like first time parents do this, is look into like baby cues.
Oh, sleepy time cues?
Like fussiness cues, hungry cues.
Yeah.
You subscribe to that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because we know someone who like claims that they're like,
the baby can tell you everything.
Like
okay, yeah.
And like, it's funny because like sometimes I've seen this person be like, oh, they're sleepy. I'm like, I think they're just tired. No. Sleepy. I'm like, they haven't eaten in 2 hours. So I think they're just tired.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
yeah, there's a confidence level here. I mean, you can't go 100%.
But also like babies, they need to either eat, sleep, or poop.
Yeah, right.
For a certain period of time. So like cues, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
when they're really little, no.
I know.
No cues. When they get a little bit older.
I did read something that was funny that was like a baby could have like a diaper like that's on like way too tight and they'll be super fussy and crying. It's just like, imagine being a baby and your diaper is on too tight and all you want is like your mom or dad to loosen the diaper.
Well, that's the thing. Like diapers, if it's a wet diaper that hasn't been changed, like that'll set a kid off too.
But
so
wet diapers is also like a different thing for like first time parents versus like second, third, fourth kid. Because we would change wet diapers the minute we saw like a blue line in the middle of the night.
And then later you're like, this is a scam. Like they're making this hypersensitive to any liquid so you'll use more diapers.
I know. You breathe wrong. You breathe wrong on it and it's just like picking up like the moisture. Actually, one piece of advice, it's kind of, I don't know, it's somewhat related to this, but someone gave me this advice that actually I have used. So a friend of mine had mentioned, and he had kids earlier than I did, and he said that if your kid is ever like melting down and crying, just get them naked. And I was like, why? He's just like, sometimes like you don't even realize it. It's like the diaper is too tight or the clothes just don't fit right.
Yeah, right.
Or something's agitating
them or
something's agitating them, like a piece, whatever. And I was like, and a couple of times we've done that and a couple of times it's worked. And there's been like onesies that like we've used, especially like onesies that have the feet. Okay, I feel like those ones, like, because when the baby gets to like a certain length, you get to a point where they just don't fit right. And and especially like when they start like discovering their legs, we found that like just getting them out of that has always made a difference. That and putting them in water, putting them like in the bath. I don't know what it is about like the bath. It just becomes super calming.
Yeah, it that can change things for sure.
Yeah. All right, lots of free advice there. Jermaine from St. Louis. Next question. My newborn didn't poop for a day. Should I be worried?
Newborns have weird poop schedules, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they can go like, especially those first, like I feel like the first few weeks, there can be like
so all your babies are breastfed, right?
Yeah.
So all of mine have been, first two are breastfed, and then the twins they're like 80% breastfed, and then like there's like some top-up formula that we do. Did you know that schedules when it comes to breastfeeding and formula feeding result in different poop schedules?
No.
So breastfed babies can go multiple times a day or several days without pooping.
Okay, yeah.
All right, because like sometimes you'll see like there'll be a random day where they'll just have like 3 blowouts,
right,
and then just not poop again for however many days. Formula babies actually tend to be more regular. So I don't know if there's like something
interesting
in like the formula that's a bit more fibrous or whatever.
Yeah, maybe a little prebiotic in there.
Maybe something in there. But do you know? Did you and your wife ever become like hyper fixated on like the color of their poop? I feel like we went through this phase.
I just feel like there's a transition, like when you first bring them home, and then when they're just drinking milk, and then it does transition again. And then it transitions again when you introduce food.
Oh, yeah.
So
we just started that, actually.
Okay.
We just started, like, the food. We'll have to talk about that in another episode.
Yeah.
But we just started...
The whole episode on this.
We just started, like, the whole food journey. But, doctor's advice, obviously. Normal poop colors. Yellow, green, brown, obviously.
There it is.
When to call a doctor. White. Didn't even know you could have white poop. Black. Well... after the newborn phase, because you get that like weird black like tar one,
whatever
exactly, come out, or red. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Red makes sense. All right, next question. This is from Anonymous.
They did want to tell us their name.
Didn't want to tell us their name. I appreciate that. Question. I feel useless while my wife is breastfeeding. What's my role? Yeah, you are useless.
You are, I know. You nailed it, Anonymous.
What do you have for him? Make him feel better.
Yeah, I mean, again.
Imagine if this is a wife that wrote in as Anonymous.
Yeah, that would be
just like, I, as my husband, feel useless.
That can't be. It can't be because a mom knows she's doing her job.
Absolutely.
She's plumping up that kid. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have any other kids around, man, you got like 20 minutes or whatever to get something done. You know,
dude.
If you have other kids, it's a moot point because your other kids need, are always asking for stuff. Or
you know what I wrote down? That's 100% true. The first thing is like watch the other kid or kids.
Yeah.
Which if you don't have, then you can do the diaper change. You can do all the things around like burping, soothing, managing household logistics.
There you go.
I feel like it's just emotional support. I wrote down. I don't know if that helps. Do you think that helps?
No.
I don't think so too.
No, I mean, look, if your wife is stressed
sometimes
out,
when your wife is like breastfeeding, like, and you're like half asleep, you'll like still kind of be asleep, but then you'll put your arm on her back. You ever done that before? You just like put your arm on her back, like to be like, I know you don't want me to be asleep right now, but in solidarity, I will stay asleep, but I'll put my arm on your back. Or like on your thigh, just so you know I'm here. You ever do that?
No,
like
I'm thinking past that phase. Maybe with the first one, but by the fifth one, it's a little different.
That's fair.
Everybody's trying to survive.
Well, when you're trying to survive, the other thing that like we do, and I'm sure you do as well, is we still get middle of the night wake ups with the other kids.
Yeah, right.
So while my wife is on newborn duty, I'm exclusively on
right.
The other
Same.
kids.
Yeah, I have the monitor for the other kids that would call out or need help.
Yeah.
So
by
that's
the way,
the
this morning,
thing.
my second oldest woke up at like an ungodly hour, and she and my eldest were arguing like on the monitor because my eldest was like, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And they have this color coded light. Red means sleep, yellow means you can putz around your room, and green means
okay to wake or whatever.
Whatever it's called, right? And they're arguing, so I go into the room, and I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Well, she won't let me sleep. Like I want to sleep." I'm like, "That's pretty fair." So I was like, "All right, I'll sleep like in between you guys. I'll separate you guys." So I lay down in the bed. I may be there like no more than 5 minutes. My eldest turns to me. By the way, she's the one who's been bickering with us. She goes, "You're taking up too much space. Can we get out?"
That's the best. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, right.
I'm here. I'm doing the Lord's work. Right, I'm helping you out.
I'm a mediator here. I'm trying to help
seriously.
you out. No, that's so funny. I've had my daughters do the same thing. I'm like, well, I'm just going to snuggle up and cuddle with you. And they're just like, no. My youngest girl, she'll just like straight give you the hand and push you out. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. My second oldest today, I just going off topic a bit. I had like a later start, like a breakfast this morning. And so I'm like, oh, isn't it great? Like we get to do like, some daddy, mommy time, like just like one-on-one with you. She's like, Dad, just go to work. Great.
That's funny. That's really
funny. Thanks. All right, next question. Let's see if we have time for maybe a couple more. This one is from @Miz43.
Is that the Miz, the wrestler? He's from Cleveland.
Yeah, no, he is. I thought that.
We could think that it is.
It must be.
Thanks, Miz, for reaching out.
Thanks, Miz.
Cleveland, baby.
Absolutely. All right, this question actually, I think we've had a variation of this question in the past, but feel free to give your opinion. Question: we're both exhausted and snapping each other. Is this normal?
Of course. Yeah. That's it, man. Yeah. Tired people.
I mean, if you're not slightly unhinged, you're doing the newborn phase wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. It's a stretch.
It's all sleep deprivation based.
Yeah. Like when you're tired, man. You're snappy. You're hungry. Yeah. You have short tempers. That's pretty par for the course.
It is. I'd say what would help is lower your expectations. Take shifts.
Right.
I felt like this the first couple of times when you're both awake at the same time when like your wife is breastfeeding. It can somewhat be like, I know you're there for emotional support stuff. It sometimes can be unhelpful because you're both super tired,
right?
But you haven't done anything, and then when it's time for another middle of the night wake up or other logistical stuff that you need to take care of, well now you're exhausted and you're feeling snippy for having been up and like trying to do that. So I think it's actually more helpful when you can divide and conquer and figure out like, okay, if your wife is the one that's breastfeeding or doing whatever, like newborn related, you just have to take care of the other stuff.
Agree.
And I feel like the overarching advice is just, this is temporary.
Right.
Once sleep, I'm telling you, once sleep comes back,
Oh, you feel like brand new. It's amazing.
Sleep's a torture technique.
Yeah.
Like
right,
it's
right.
literally a
Seriously.
torture technique. Like prisoners of war
Yeah.
get like tortured with like
No sleep.
no sleep and like having to get confessions out of them and all that
Or
stuff.
you just fall asleep and you get woken up again, you know.
The worst.
I think we've talked about this too, but I mean, with our first, we got to a point we had to do that. We had to take like 4-hour shifts of each other getting sleep. Once she was given longer stretches, but she was waking up a ton, and that was life-saving to get us to kind of bridge the gap until she started sleeping through the night.
Yeah, I get it. All right. I think we have time for maybe one more.
Okay.
Think one
Last
more?
one?
All
Yeah.
right, let's do one more. This is from Tommy in Philly. It says, there are a million products out there. What actually matters? We don't have to go into like specific products. I feel like we've given specific products in the past, but like just generally, you know, I don't know what comes to mind. I mean, diapers, obviously, wipes, obviously, but like I would say a setup for like feeding, like having like a good setup, because I don't think we had an armchair, or maybe we did. We didn't have a rocking chair.
Rocking chair? Yeah.
Dude, a rocking chair?
It's a game changer.
It's a game. I could sit in that thing holding a newborn for hours.
And they respond to the rocking. Like that's, if you have a fussy kid, put them on their left side, hold them like kind of like facing out and start to rock them.
So I'm going to feel rocking chair is like just a need to have like
knock
for a
kid out.
Yeah, for a thing.
In a good way.
Are you guys sound machine people?
We are, man. You walk through our house at night, it's like walking through a jungle. Every room has a sound machine.
Has one, yeah.
Yeah.
And every room's slightly off, like with like the sound and like maybe the noise. So it like feels like you're going through like Jumanji or something. It's
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. No. And I've become addicted to it too.
Yeah, I feel like that thing gets on, like it'll put you out pretty quick.
Yeah.
But the main thing is too, it just helps from kids waking up from other noises outside of the room, right?
That's very true.
So, I mean, I'm sure it has its own impact in the room, but it's just nice to know, like, because if we live in a cul-de-sac, if neighbors are making noise or stuff is going on, it just deadens that a little bit, helps the kids keep sleeping.
Yeah.
You know?
The baby carrier was also a game changer for us. Because we're pretty active. So one, kid on the go. And two, like I said, when we had a colic baby, the baby carrier was a game changer because we couldn't put her down. So at least like strapping her on made like a big difference.
You got any recommendations for quad strollers? They make those. Do they make those?
They do. We've been looking at them.
Really?
I actually vetoed the quad stroller.
That would be, I feel like that would be like a small
It's enormous.
ATV.
Well, we have, I'm trying to remember what it is that we have. What's the really big two-wheeler that like you can use for running? The Bob.
Yeah.
We have the Bob. But the Bob is enormous.
It's big, yeah.
It's great for running. It's super impractical for just putting in the trunk of like your car. I mean, it barely fits in mine.
Yeah, it is big.
And so we were looking at some other strollers, and I basically said, the older two can walk. We need something compact, lightweight. So we're in the market right now for something lightweight. So if there's any recommendations out there, I'm in the market for a compact double stroller. But no, I vetoed the quad. I was like, we can't. It's just too bulky.
Yeah, yeah.
And
even double strollers can be tough. I mean, we have one that's like, it's long, it's not wide. Because I was like, when they're so wide, it's hard to get in and out of like.
We are looking at long ones now as well.
Which is, it works great. You can configure it different ways. I think it's like the City Select, something like that. But you got to break that thing down every time. You know, like there's like 4 or 5 steps to breaking it down, getting in your trunk.
Yeah, that's
just kind of have to do it.
Yeah. Convenience is what I'd say.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Find things that can help with convenience.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
All right. Why don't we end with maybe like a reality check? And this isn't like a listener question. Maybe I'll frame this to you. What actually matters in the newborn phase?
You know, I mean, looking back, I think if you're keeping the kid healthy and you're feeding, and if your kid's just progressing through that, that's all that really matters at that stage. Like your life doesn't really matter at that stage. Like your social life doesn't matter.
Totally.
You know, you might have to pause your goals for a while because again, before you have kids, you think, oh, I can still do everything I did before. But there's and you eventually can get back to that stuff, but there is a season. It's a season. You just gotta, say no and figure it out and take care of each other. And then you're in a good spot.
The only other thing I'll add to that is making sure that you're giving each other breaks. Like you and your spouse.
Yeah.
Like don't try and do everything all at once, all together. Right. Like I feel like giving each other like mental and like physical breaks
that's true.
makes a huge
that's
difference.
True, for sure.
Yeah. Optimization. Survive. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. All right, dude. Why don't you take us home?
Yeah. Well, guys, you can find us on social channels at Chief Dad Officers. We appreciate all the questions, comments. We're happy to answer them. Keep them coming. And if you have a topic that you'd like us to discuss, send it over to us. We'd love to talk about it.
Till next time.
Thanks for listening.
Cheers.